Hi guys, I'm sat in a random place in my favorite park, or should I say forest. But the reason why this video might have come on your screen right now is because of algorithms. And today I want to talk about the fact that we need to stop letting algorithms control our life. I know it sounds a little bit cliche or even dystopian, maybe even exaggerated to some of you, but I personally feel like algorithms these days on social media are killing such a huge part of our creativity. And before you write me off as a crazy overthinking person, I'm gonna need you to sit down and let me elaborate. Grab a hot beverage or a blanket or even put on some music because we are going to rewind time a little bit. Do you remember back when Instagram actually used to be a feed full of people that you follow? You would see pictures of your aunts and uncles and your high school friends. Reels didn't exist yet, and it was just the people that you're following. Once you've scrolled through all the posts, there will be nothing more, and you would have only consumed the things that you have consented to consuming. And when it came to school research, do you remember the hours and hours of Googling for information to add into your presentation or to write into your essay? I personally specifically remember what a headache it was to write down all of the sources and to scroll through endless Wikipedia pages to find connections and come to conclusions and extract information by using my own brain. Or the last time you went to the bookstore and truly picked up a book out of your own interest and not because you might have seen it in a TikTok or recommended by a book YouTuber. I'm just saying. Just something that appealed to your life and interests at the moment, with no outside influence. In this day and age, I feel like we can just put anything into Google or into ChatGPT and an AI will extract the information for us, which can be convenient sometimes. It can save you a lot of time. And having somebody recommend you the best book of the year and the one with the most romance or blah 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 can maybe save you a lot of time from browsing at the bookstore. But what does this do to us? Having all these algorithms, all these outside influences making things so much easier for ourselves. We're being spoon fed more and more information without really having to put in the effort or having to really seek out those things by ourselves. And I truly believe that us humans are inherently very lazy, so we might not realize the dangers and actually find this quite enjoyable. But because of the fact that everyone is consuming the same things, I feel like we are all coming up with less original ideas. I truly believe that unique ideas come from the fact that so many people seek out different sources of information, entertainment, and interests, and through that make their own discoveries or develop their own fun quirks and humor. But now it is as if we're all having this big inside joke whenever there's a new TikTok trend going around. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because at the end of the day, this is probably something that has been... I almost got attacked by a wasp. Oh, I'm still being attacked by a wasp. This is why I hate nature. No, just kidding, I love it. While this might have also been a thing back in the day, people could have gotten the same news from newspapers. It was never to this extent. What's happening right now is that we're almost being robbed from our creativity, our attention span, our livelihood, our humanity. I notice so many people have started to lack the ability to connect with other humans or to show any form of empathy, which is honestly very scary, if I may say so. And if you're constantly being fed by these algorithms, that makes you very easy to manipulate. And the one thing that very big corporations that want your money love is when you are easy to manipulate. Because you will go from liking the music that they recommend or put on your algorithm to buying albums or products or anything that the media is pushing your way because you're being gaslit into believing that you like these things. And the catastrophe about this is that you might go from buying things or streaming the music that they're recommending you to feel how they want you to feel. Because at the end of the day, the media that we consume does impact the way that we feel. I swear that I physically cannot listen to sad music anymore because even though I love the song, For example, Mitski, I love her music, but I cannot listen to it without feeling so emotionally impacted. Soon you go from buying things to feeling things to maybe even believing or voting for things that they want you to believe and vote for. Now, how are you going to protect yourself from this? Because, as we all know, media is at the end of the day designed to be very addictive, especially nowadays. They got so good at it. Between all my friends, our screen time is between 5 to 8 hours a day, which is insane if you ask me. And this also includes me. I am not some saint who is so incredible and doesn't own a smartphone. But before I get off track, which I'm very good at, I'm gonna continue to give you solutions. Number one is, of course, the easiest solution out of all, which is limit your social media intake and don't scroll as much. It's the first thing that comes to our mind, but it's honestly a fact, guys. To consume media more consciously, you're gonna have to get rid of or minimize social media that mainly relies on algorithms, which is basically TikTok or Instagram. Because if you are scrolling through Reels and TikToks, then you don't have any control about what's going to be shown to you next. And I think many of us can relate to scrolling for hours and hours by accident, and by the end of it, you don't even remember what you've watched. You might have saved an interesting hack or a cool food spot in your town, but that's about the only value that you're going to get from it. I want you to tell me honestly, how much do you remember from the things that you have watched? Be honest. The second one might be controversial, but stop reading reviews and start forming your own opinions. The best way to develop a sense of self is by doing things that will make it happen. Learn to develop your own opinions again, your own humor, your own personality. There's nothing wrong with being basic, but I believe that every human is special and everyone has their own bodily autonomy, their own brain, their own way that they think about things. Try to find them again. Go to the bookstore and pick something up that sparks your interest that you might like, or try to Google and research things. Read essays about topics that interest you. Maybe even keep one of those commonplace notebooks where you can just write down information that you find interesting or talk about your day-to-day life, your thoughts. Just try to be a little bit more inside of your own head and try to puzzle out your brain. My next tip would be make your own media ecosystem. And what I mean by that is try to control what type of media you're consuming. Let's say in this case, you could subscribe to a magazine. If you like horses, subscribe to a horse magazine. Read the news. Find authors that you really like the work from. If you're somebody who loves history, listen to history podcasts, specifically about topics that you find very nice. Go to art or history museums and try to really make connections and form your own opinions about the things right in front of you. And even if you're not consuming media, just go out and live your life, live some experiences. Because at the end of the day, what we are doing when we are behind a screen is witnessing somebody else live their lives. I've thought about this actually like very often. Imagine if everyone's phone that they're holding inside of their hand gets replaced by a concrete brick. The next time you're in public, look around you and imagine how many people would just be like bowing down and looking at this inanimate object. Because when we are looking at a phone, we might feel like so many things are happening because all of this content is stimulating our brains, right? But at the end of the day, in reality, we're just looking at an object. For example, my journal, I would just be looking at an object. Now, I do want to say something. For algorithm-based platforms, I feel like YouTube might just be the best one from like all your choices that you have. I wouldn't say cut off YouTube because YouTube at least has an algorithm, but it presents you with a bunch of videos, and at the end of the day, it's still your choice what you want to click on. So you can actually get a lot of valuable videos on your For You page, such as this one. Just kidding. Or not. And the next one is allow yourself to be bored, because when you're going to cut off these easy sources of dopamine, the first emotion you're going to feel is an extreme amount of boredom, and or just to pick your phone up again. But I want you to feel bored, because the one thing that gets born from boredom is creativity. If you're laying in bed with your phone, you're not gonna have any intention to get out of it and do something. Versus if you're just laying in bed, at some point you're going to be bored and want to get up and do something. Maybe you will actually start reading that book that you've been putting off for so long. I promise that was not a personal attack. Just keep in mind that the most valuable thing you will have in this lifetime is having control about your own mind, your own time, and your humanity. But I feel like such a big chunk of these things is being robbed from, especially my generation, right in front of their eyes, willingly. And that is not okay, and we need to do something about it. I hope you guys don't mind me reading out of my journal, because I tend to write a lot about things I find interesting, and when I want to put them on video, I tend to get distracted so easily. And I promise it's not even because of my attention span, it's because I love rambling on and on and on and on. That's maybe why I started a YouTube channel, but you get my point. I drifted off again. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Subscribe if you like this video, because I would love to do more of these podcasts, preferably with a more comfortable seat, because these stones are absolutely killing my arse right now, and I'm being attacked by bugs left and right. Nature in it. Bye guys!